Welcome to the Fermented Homestead and welcome to the very first day of Fermented February. Fermented February is a collaboration where me, along with a bunch of other creators, are going to be putting out, between all of us, one video every day in the month of February related to fermentation, and we're going to be sharing all of it with you guys. This year we have a lot of returning creators as well as new ones who are going to be sharing with you all different recipes related to fermentation. We have a bunch of sourdough recipes, we have a lot of different drink recipes including kombucha, but not just that. We also have all different other types of fermented sodas, condiments like ketchup, mustard, we have beet kraut, hot sauce, jardinera, I have no idea how to pronounce that, but today we're kicking things off with some good old Sriracha. And we're gonna be making Sriracha two different ways. About 2 months ago, I started the fermentation process back when I was super duper busy and I didn't have a whole lot of time, but I had a bunch of red, ripe jalapenos. So I chopped off the ends of these and just stuck them in the jar whole, added some garlic to it, also just to give it a little bit more of a distinct flavor. Then to a separate jar, I added 2 tablespoons of sea salt and filled the rest with water, mixed it up, and poured whatever would fit over the top of the peppers. Then I added the fermentation weight, and for this ferment I chose to use an airlock bubbler, put the date on my jar to make sure I remembered, and I set it to ferment. And then I forgot about it. I did check on it once, but that's about it. And you can see all the white stuff that is on top here. I did check on that the one time that I did check on it to make sure that it was good and it was safe. It wasn't overcome with a ton of mold. So it's not, it's just some good old calm yeast inside there. I scooped out as much as I could, and that's about all there was to it. The recipe that I'm sort of following, but not really, says to ferment it for I think less than 2 weeks. I really like a nice good ripe ferment, so I went ahead and let it ferment for a really long time. The first technique, I guess you could call it, that I'm following is out of this book called Fiery Ferments, and it is this recipe here. I have no clue how to pronounce it, but Sriracha. At any rate, I tweaked this recipe a lot because I knew that I wanted to do a longer term ferment, and it's really difficult to do a longer term ferment with a paste. This recipe calls in the beginning, when you're first making the ferment, to puree all of the peppers together and then you ferment the puree. But that's really difficult to do without getting a ton of mold, and I knew that that would not work for this recipe, so I left them whole. In order to make this first recipe, we just have to puree everything together. The recipe does call to add in a ½ cup of evaporated cane sugar. I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to have any sugar in my ferment. Anybody who is as much of a Sriracha lover as I am knows that the Sriracha that we used to get in the store is no longer available. They have changed, it is different, it's a different recipe, it's a different taste, it's a different, pretty much everything. So if you're gonna have different, why not have good different and make it yourself? So I'm just going to remove a lot of the brine. I'm using a high-powered blender, but you can definitely use whatever blender that you have available to you. If it's not a high-powered blender, it won't be as smooth, but it'll still be just fine. It'll just be a little chunky. Just to add in, you know, some of the brine. And blend it up. All right, so it's time for a taste test. Yes, perfect. Woo! Oh, that is good. Oh my goodness. Oh, Robert is gonna so love that. That's got some bite to it. You don't have to have these, but I do happen to have some hot sauce bottles that were a gift to me from a viewer a very long time ago, and I just haven't had the opportunity to use them. So we're gonna make our Sriracha. So we'll go ahead and decant these. If you want a much smoother hot sauce, you can absolutely puree this as much as you possibly can, and then you just run it through like a fine mesh sieve or something like that, or kind of strain it through a towel of some sort, like a muslin towel. and you'll get a much smoother result. I don't care. So I'm just gonna have it be whole. You can also just stick this in a mason jar or like an old juice bottle or something like that. Just make sure you stick with glass if possible. And if that is not possible, plastic, but definitely do not store this long-term in metal. It's going to be very corrosive to the metal. And this handy dandy little kit came with some lids, and it also came with like some sleeves that you can wrap around it if you want to, and you just like use a hair dryer or something like that, and like a shrink wrap. Not like a shrink wrap, it is a shrink wrap. And now we have some delicious homemade fermented sriracha. And if I do say so myself, and I do say so myself, this is tastier than the sriracha you buy in the store. You can add sugar to this if you want to, kind of just add it to taste. But most of the time I avoid sugar whenever possible, so I want to make sure that when I want to have this, I don't have to be concerned with the sugar content of it. Before we get started on the next sriracha, I want to tell you just a little bit about the collaboration that we have going on here, all the prizes, all the things, all the whatnots. Down below, I'm going to link all of the channels that are participating in this collaboration. Be sure that you head over, check all of them out. They have wonderful videos, all kinds of homesteading stuff outside, inside, kitchen, fermenting, sourdough. I mean, really anything that you want to learn to be more self-sustaining. Everybody in this collaboration can help you out with that. There's so much knowledge on all of these channels. You really need to make sure that you check them out. And as for the prizes that are in this collaboration, every Monday at 7:30 p.m. I go live on my channel, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, I should say. And I just do that every single week. But for the collaboration, I'm gonna be giving a prize away in every one of the videos from that week's videos. So this coming Monday, I'll be doing a giveaway, drawing from random comments from videos from this video through the Sunday's video, and then I'll be drawing a random comment from that randomly picked video, and we'll be giving away prizes. And I'm going to be doing that every single week up until the 29th. And on the 29th, I'm going to be doing an extra special live giveaway where I will be giving away the grand prizes. So in each of the lives throughout the week, I'm going to be giving away 2 prizes. The first one is going to be a book, The Farmhouse Culture Guide to Fermenting, Sandor Katz' book, Fermentation Journeys, The Art of Fermentation by Sandor Katz, and Artisan Sourdough. One of those books will be given away every week, and the second prize I'm going to be giving away are t-shirts, fermentation themed t-shirts to be specific. I have a kombucha shirt. I also have one in sauerkraut. There's another one that's just a little bit cutesier that just says Booch on it. There's also this Grow, Harvest, Ferment shirt. And there's also this one right up here. I just couldn't find my copy of it. The t-shirts will just be dealer's choice. Whichever ones that the person wins would like to receive, that is the one that they can get. All of these t-shirts will also be available all month long. It's going to be a limited run, only available for the month of February. So if you do want to order t-shirts or any of these books or anything like that, everything is going to be linked for you down below if you want to get your copy before the giveaways. And for the grand prize giveaways on the 29th, I'm going to be giving away a Mason Tops fermenting kit and a water seal crock. So be sure to comment on all of the videos that are taking part in the collaboration. Every video that you comment on is an entry to win. Since this is the intro video, this is the only video that I will be going into a great amount of detail on the collaboration. I just wanted to make sure that everybody who didn't catch the announcement video knew what was up with the collaboration. So let's get on to our next recipe. I'm making it out of this book here, Fermented Hot Sauce Cookbook. I'm gonna be making this Sriracha recipe. I'm gonna be following this one a little bit more carefully as far as ingredients and everything goes. We'll be making it a little bit more traditional because this isn't one that I'm more likely to consume. This one is gonna be more something that I think hubby would like. So let's get on to it. I have already fermented everything. It is inside of this jar. This one unfortunately did go a little bit wonkier than the other one. This one has mold in it. It did not when I checked on it last time, but the mold has formed, as you can see here. However, I'm not super concerned about it. I'm just gonna scrape it off and move on with my life because it's not anything that looks awful. It's mostly white. It's mostly calm yeast and then mold grew on top of it. And there's a ever so slight hint of some green in there, but it's very, very minor. It's not anything that I'm super concerned about. And honestly, most of this is going to disappear when I pull the weight out. We have our surgical equipment. So I don't know which size I'm gonna need. And all you do literally is just take it off. as with for mold, if you have a mold sensitivity of any kind that you are aware of, like you have bad reactions to it, I mean, everybody's sensitive to mold to some degree, but there are people out there who are much more sensitive, have autoimmune reactions, all kinds of terrible stuff. Don't do this. Flat out. Throw it away, start again. For those who know that they don't have a sensitivity to mold, it's dealer's choice. If you feel comfortable taking it out like I do, take it out. If you don't feel comfortable with it, don't. But my research and everything that I have discovered is that it's not a big deal. it's really not. If you're comfortable with it, do it. If you're not, don't. I'm just gonna pour off the brine. This recipe calls for 2 pounds of jalapenos. I'm guessing that's probably about 1 pound of jalapenos, so I'm gonna cut the recipe for this in half. So to our peppers, since we're doing a half of a recipe, we're gonna add in only 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1/8 of a cup of reserved brine, and 1/4 of a cup of rice vinegar. And let's get to mixing. Let's see if this is the right ratio, because like I said, I'm just guessing on the ratios here. I think that should do it. We got a nice delight. Ooh, I pureed this one even longer. It's even smoother. Let's give this one a taste here. Despite my coughing, this one doesn't have as much heat as the other one. It's the rice vinegar. It's getting in my back of my throat. I'm definitely gonna say that the first one is better than this one. It's hotter, it's spicier, it has more of that umami type of flavor, you know, the one that's just like hits every place on your tongue, like it's just a full, complete, delicious flavor. This one's good, don't get me wrong. The one that is just the straight Sriracha hot sauce is definitely primo. It is absolutely delicious. With both of these Srirachas, they do need to be stored in the fridge. I'm very fortunate. I have an extra fridge out in the garage, and mostly what I use it for is just to store my extra ferments in. So that's where these guys are gonna be going, but just make sure that you store it in the fridge. It is still an active ferment. I'm not sure about the one with the vinegar. I still need to do a little bit more research on that one, but we didn't cook it, so there's a good chance that it's still an alive, active culture. Coffee's ready. So with the Sriracha, you can do anything that you would any other type of Sriracha, any other type of hot sauce. For me personally, I absolutely love Sriracha on eggs. It is my absolute favorite. You can add it to any sort of like a stir-fry dish. You can add it to ramen, a sandwich if you want to. You can put it in your Mexican food. You won't have any negative effects from cooking it. It will kill the active cultures that are in it. It'll still have the same flavor, and it will still have several other benefits to it, just not the active live cultures, and most of the enzymes also will be killed. You can add it to it after you've cooked something, and that way you can still preserve the cultures if that is as important to you as it is to me. Let me know if you have ever tried making your own hot sauce, and if you plan on making some of your own. And if you're looking for another hot sauce recipe, be sure to check out this video right here. It'll take you to an older video where I made some other delicious hot sauce. Peace out, sauerkraut.